Hi, my name is Brian Liebenow, and this is my wife, Betsy. I am a 1998 Air Force Academy graduate. In 2001, I was a lieutenant stationed at Hurlburt Field, Florida, with the 23rd Special Tactics Squadron. Today, I am a member of the Stronghold Freedom Foundation, and we live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
On October 6, 2001, my husband deployed to an old Soviet airbase in Uzbekistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He remained at K2 for 70 days, sleeping in Soviet aircraft shelters and tents surrounded by radioactive sandbags and 392 toxin chemicals and carcinogens. 2 months after he got home, we began trying to have kids, but after a year we found out that he was infertile. We tried in vitro a couple times with no success. In the fall of 2003, Brian was diagnosed with non-Hodgkins lymphoma in and around his tonsil. We went through 6 months of chemotherapy and radiation, and by the end of 2003, the cancer was in remission. We thought the worst was over, and Brian continued his Air Force career. However, in 2005, he began to experience constant ringing in his ear, along with progressive paralysis on his left side and loss of feeling on his right. Brian was extremely sensitive to the relatively small amount of radiation therapy he received, and it severely damaged his head and neck, including his spinal cord and brain. The radiation also destroyed my husband's left lower jawbone. After 5 failed surgeries to attempt to fix the problem, he completely lost the ability to swallow in 2009. He now gets all his food and drink through a gastric feeding tube. The radiation damage continued progressing in 2011, when he required surgery to remove a piece of his skull after his brain began swelling. Then in 2015, he got skin cancer on his left shoulder where he was radiated. The surgery to remove the skin cancer never fully healed, became infected, and moved into his clavicle, which required more surgery in 2016 to remove the bone along with 3 of his ribs and his left arm before the infection could spread any further. Additionally, over the past 3 years, my husband's vagus nerve has stopped working due to radiation damage, causing his stomach muscles to stop functioning. This is extremely painful and has been especially hard to treat during the pandemic. In the last 18 years of his body's slow decline, during the many nights in various hospitals, Brian has caught bacterial meningitis, stomach ulcers, and multiple staph infections.
Now let me tell you how lucky I am. I was in the military when I went through cancer treatment, and I was medically retired. So my disabilities are connected to my service, which means I get great health insurance. So all these problems that I've been whining about, they've all been covered by my insurance.
Thousands of veterans who were at K2, who were there much longer than Brian, got out of the military before their problems surfaced. Their disabilities are not service-connected. There's no insurance. They can't work. They can't even go to the VA for treatment because the VA doesn't see toxic exposure or even deployments to Uzbekistan as an issue. These veterans don't get the first-class doctors and procedures my husband got. We are also lucky because in 2008, Brian and I adopted our daughter, Grace. She's a teenager now.
But that's okay too, because I can still drink hard alcohol through my feeding tube. The truth is, I couldn't be happier with the way my life has turned out. I am not looking for someone to blame for sending me to K2 and my subsequent infertility, cancer, and radiation sensitivity. The decision makers in Washington had to rapidly begin a response to 9/11. They sent me to a dangerous place, and that's what I signed up for.
But we do blame the government for denying benefits and health care to K2 veterans and their families after they got home. All of the K2 veterans gave the oath of office with the expectation that if they were injured or lost their lives, the government would take care of things. Our military budget is over $600 billion, yet somehow we lack the will to care for the men and women who are exposed to toxins during their service. This is shameful. Brian's dad did two combat tours in Vietnam with the Marines and was regularly exposed to Agent Orange. It took decades for the VA to recognize the harmful effects of Agent Orange and gave Vietnam veterans the coverage they needed. But by that time, countless vets were already dead. How many K2 veterans will lose their lives before the VA recognizes our sacrifice?
Betsy and I need our Tennessee senators and representatives, along with the rest of Congress, to do the right thing. Do the right thing for the 10,000 plus K2 families who answered their nation's call after September 11th and are still waiting 19 years later for the health care and benefits that they earned.